Welcome back to the Blu Alchemist Podcast, where we challenge your perspective. I'm your host, Siquoyia Blue, and today I want to talk about something that really shook me. I recently read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill for the first time, and I'm not gonna lie, it hit me deep. It's one of those books that makes you pause and look at yourself differently. Your habits, your focus, your energy, and the people you allow into your life. There's one line that stopped me cold. Hill wrote, "Nature will not tolerate idleness or vacuums of any sort. All space must be and is filled with something. When the individual does not use the brain for the expression of positive, creative thoughts, nature fills the vacuum by forcing the brain to act upon negative thoughts." Now that's something else. Whew. That right there made me think about all the times I felt stuck, distracted, or disconnected from my purpose. When we're not standing 10 toes down in who we are, when we're not anchored in intention, something else takes over. That something could be fear, doubt, laziness, or even outside energy that feeds off confusion. And honestly, I believe those negative forces are real, spiritual, energetic, and psychological. When you're not self-aware, when you're not rooted, that's when the devil creeps in. Not as some horned figure, but through distraction, insecurity, and self-sabotage. Hill talks about drifters and non-drifters. A non-drifter knows who they are. They move with purpose. A drifter, though, they float. They let life happen to them instead of directing their energy. And I've been there. I've been both. Being a drifter feels like walking through fog. You question your voice, your gifts, your path. You start comparing yourself, doubting your timing. That's when that darkness, that low vibration energy sneaks in. But when you stand firm in your truth, when you're intentional and rooted, that's when you're protected. Because darkness can't exist where there's light. Confusion can't survive where there's clarity. So in this episode, I want to break down these three things. 1, how drifting actually happens. Mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. 2, how the devil shows up in our modern lives through distraction, social media, and fear. And 3, how to reclaim your focus by choosing your circle, your energy, and your thoughts wisely. Because when your mind is filled with purpose, creativity, and awareness, there's no room for negativity to move in. Drifting doesn't usually start with something dramatic. It starts small. You stop setting intentions, you stop journaling, praying, or checking in with yourself. You stop creating. Before you know it, you've lost your rhythm. Your focus fades, and your energy becomes scattered. Hill said the devil's greatest weapon is control over idle minds. And that's real, because when you're not choosing your thoughts, something or someone will choose them for you. That something might be fear, anxiety, or even the influence of people who are lost themselves. Spiritual warfare isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like endless scrolling. Sometimes it looks like exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like being surrounded by people who drain you. When you stop being intentional, the drift begins. And once you're drifting, it's hard to tell which direction you're going. Let's be honest. The devil doesn't need horns in 2025. All he needs is a Wi-Fi connection. We live in a time where attention is everything. And if you're not guarding your mind, your focus will get hijacked by whatever's trending. Social media can turn into a feeding ground for insecurity and comparison if you're not spiritually centered. That's drifting too, spending more time reacting than reflecting. So every day, you have to anchor yourself. When I say it's a job, it's a job. You got to do it every day. Whether that's prayer, meditation, movement, creativity, or quiet time. You need something that reminds you of who you are before the world tells you who to be. When I say you got to do this every day, you have to do it every day because this world is crazy. Life be lifing, and that's just the bottom line. Because if you don't set your rhythm, the world will set it for you. And that rhythm often leads to burnout, anxiety, and confusion. Hill also says something that really stuck with me. Tell me what you habitually think about, and I will tell you who you are. Tell me what company you keep, and I will tell you where you're headed. Now that hit hard. Because the people around you are reflections. They mirror your mindset, your energy, your standards. If you're around drifters, people who gossip, complain, or just never grow, and mind you, venting is different from just complaining. Venting is something else, so just got to know difference between the two. You start to absorb that vibration, and without realizing it, you start thinking smaller. But when you surround yourself with people who are focused, grounded, and purpose-driven, that energy sharpens you. It keeps you aligned. It reminds you of what matters. Your circle can either protect your peace or poison it. And your environment will either elevate you or drain you. There's no middle ground. That's why self-awareness isn't just mental work. It's spiritual armor, okay? So here's my challenge to you. Check your circle, check your habits, and check your thoughts. Now, I don't know if any of you seen the movie Eat, Pray, and Love with Julia Roberts. It's really good because one scene it said, pick your thoughts like you pick your clothes. So pick your thoughts like you pick your clothes because it does matter, but it is an everyday battle. So, but it does work when you think logically and be self-aware. You just fix your thoughts on sight. Fix it immediately. Ask yourself honestly, am I creating or am I drifting? Because if you don't decide, well, the devil will decide for you. But when you're locked in, when you fill your mind with purpose, your day with intention, and your life with light, you become untouchable. That's how you outwit the devil. So also check out his book, Think and Grow Rich. I read that when I was a long time ago, and I read it a few times. It's a really good book about your mindset, and it goes with this book is teaching you how to outwit the devil as well. You need both to win in this crazy world. So thank you for tuning into the Blu Alchemist Podcast, where we challenge your perspective and spark transformation. So in this episode, if this episode resonated with you, share with someone who might be drifting, because one moment of awareness can change a whole life. So until next time, stay curious, subscribe to our Substack, Blu Alchemist Podcast Substack will be in the show notes, and everybody stay safe and stay curious. Peace.